Hello, my name is Michael Stipe. It's great to be here with you today in the city that I call home. Senator Bernie Sanders first drew my attention during an especially dark time in our city's history. A time when many people allowed fear, hysteria, and misinformation to dominate their better judgment. I watched Bernie take a principled stand and vote against the Iraq War and the Patriot Act at a juncture when it was expedient to simply go along to get along, when it was easy to surrender our personal freedoms to the illusion of safety and protection. Bernie said no. Instead, he took the measured, reasoned, and responsible approach that has kept him on the right side of history at virtually every turn since he's been in the public eye. Since then, I have taken the time to study Bernie's past. I discovered a man who believed that black men and women should have equal access to the same housing and receive the same quality of education as white men and women. The fact that Bernie believed so passionately he was willing to be detained for resisting arrest while trying to fight for just that right in Chicago. I discovered a man who marched with my hero, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I discovered a man who worked with the Congress of Racial Equality and later the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee to end discrimination practices in Southern restaurants. This was history in the making, and Bernie was there. Fast forward to Bernie Sanders today, a man with an unflappable position on issues important to me, like LGBTQ rights, environmental justice and equality, whether we're talking about pay equity, a living wage for all full-time employees, or making sure Main Street doesn't suffer because of Wall Street. Bernie Sanders walks the walk and talks the talk when it comes to fairness. Over the years of traveling across the United States and outside of America with my former band, I have discovered within myself an underlying but potent appreciation of justice and common decency. I seek out leaders who represent themselves honestly and fairly and who share the same appreciation of justice. You know, too often we watch as politicians say one thing and do the other, and often reverse their positions and pretend that they've always held that position. Bernie Sanders isn't worried about political expediency or doing what polls might say is the right thing to do. His moral compass is due north, and that is exactly what we need right now. I once had a lyric, not everybody can carry the, I misquoted it, not everyone can carry the weight of the world, and Bernie Sanders understands that. He has said time and again that the political revolution isn't about him or any other candidate out there. It's about the millions of people across this country who stood up and said they're tired of politics as usual, and it is time for things to change. Now, I feel pretty certain that everyone here will be at the polls April 19th to vote in the New York primaries. And that's awesome. But we all need to reach out to our families and our communities and bring someone with you. Bring your lover, your mother, your father, your sister, your uncle, your brother, the coffee guy at the bodega, your landlord. We all need to bring a lot of people, and let's bring the vote in record numbers for Bernie Sanders for New York State. Bernie is exactly right. It's going to take every one of us standing together on April 19th and beyond. This is really important to make this happen. I don't know about you, but I really want that change to come with the leadership of Bernie Sanders. It is my honor and privilege to introduce the next president of the United States, Bernie Sanders.
Thank you, Brooklyn. It is beautiful to be back in a place where I used to be when I was a kid. We used to go swimming right around here. I think I've eaten half the hot dogs that Nathan's produced. And we've been on many of those rides. So thank you all very, very much for coming out. I should mention that Jane is also a daughter of Brooklyn. A little bit crazy. We ended up meeting in Vermont, but that's the way it is. All of you know that this is a pivotal moment in American history. What we are seeing today is a grotesque level of income and wealth inequality. We are seeing the top 1/10 of 1% owning almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%.